When you get on the seat of your motorcycle, if you're like me, you go through a mental checklist of everything that you need for a safe and enjoyable ride. Just the other day, I took off on a short ride and realized, at the gas station no less, that I had left my wallet at home. Fortunately, the gas station was set up so that I could pay with my digital wallet, but I have added a new item to my mental checklist. The last thing I do before I ever twist the throttle is to bow my head and pray. I always pray for safety and for an opportunity to commune with God as I enjoy the ride. I also lift up prayer requests that are on my mind in that moment. After all that's taken care of, I hit the road and I enjoy the ride. Whatever your mental checklist and pre-ride routine may be, when you're on the road, you're focused on the ride, monitoring your surroundings, paying attention to how the motorcycle is responding, watching others on the road. Any lapse in focus could actually lead to disaster. Not always, but the potential is greatly increased. If you become aware of this lapse in focus, you probably silently chastise yourself and redouble your efforts, vowing to not let that happen again, until, inevitably, it does happen again. This is exactly what happens in our prayer life as well. We sometimes lose focus and our prayers become selfish wish lists that are aimed in God's direction, or they even become some repetitive monologue that lacks any heart and any faith. And even worse, sometimes our prayers cease. The disciples who followed Christ only asked Jesus to teach them one thing. Yes, I'm just as surprised by this as you may well be, but it is true, at least in the words recorded in the Bible. What is the one thing that was so vitally important in the eyes of the disciples that they explicitly asked Christ to teach them? Was it how to change water into wine? Was it how to make the lame walk? Or maybe it was how to raise the dead. The ability to perform these miracles would seem like the top priority on their list of things to know how to do after witnessing Christ himself perform the exact same miracles. However, these abilities were not the priority for the disciples. No, rather than ask Jesus how to perform astounding miracles, they asked Jesus to teach them how to do something far more important, something that they had also observed Jesus do faithfully. They asked Jesus to teach them how to pray. This request is recorded in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 11, verse 1. One of his disciples looked to Jesus and made this request. Lord, teach us to pray as John taught his disciples. This is the first and only time that a disciple specifically requested Christ teach them something, and that request was how to pray. Prayer gives us the ear of the one who created the universe and all that it contains. But we must keep our focus when we pray. Our prayers are not about us. Our prayers are meant to give God the glory and honor that is due to Him. That's why Jesus gave us the perfect outline for our prayers in the Lord's Prayer. Now keep in mind, these are not words that are meant to be blindly recited. This is a pattern we should follow, and the first line of the prayer is intended to direct our focus. And Jesus uses the words, "Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name." Our prayers don't have to be flowery and grand. They only have to be heartfelt and sincere. In truth, it's not our words that matter anyway. That's not where the true power of prayer exists. Rather, the true power of prayer exists in God's words. Peace, truth, and wisdom will not come from our own speaking. It will come from our listening. Imagine your prayer life as it exists right now. If God were to answer your prayers, whose lives would be changed? Would it only be your own life? If that's the case, then you need to remember to pray for others. The church is a community, and we must support and uplift each other. It's okay to pray for yourself, for your family, but don't lose sight of others in this world. Pray for them as well, especially those that are lost and don't yet know Christ. When you bow your head in prayer, focus your heart and your mind on God. And if you ever lose that focus, go back and redouble your efforts.